All right, let's talk quickly about what I would do if I only had 1K to 10K, 11 to 50K, 51 to like 100K. If you're at 1 to 10K, these are the things, and in no particular order, that I think you have to prioritize. I don't care if you hate it. I don't care if it's not your thing, or, oh man, you know, that's not really my style, whatever excuses that people want to come up with. But first, you need a network. I know a lot of you guys have accounts on Twitter and you'll follow me because I stalk you guys back. Don't get me wrong. I fucking look at your accounts back because I actually care about some of you guys. And a lot of times when I look at a lot of your accounts, you guys follow people and that's great, but you don't bother to engage. You don't really follow the protocols. You don't follow the people who are like degenerates, because those people are also doing the same thing you're doing. They're trying to find what's the next 100x, what's the next cool protocol, what should they farm, right? What airdrop should they farm? And it doesn't take a lot of effort to farm, because inherently people who farm and people who go for all these airdrops are working with a small stack. That's the nature of the game. Nobody worth millions is out there farming fucking everything. Like, it's just not happening. They might be farming the best ones out of them, but they're not farming everything. And it's really important that you just spam it. Like, just do it. It takes 30 minutes max to farm something. And yes, only 1 in 20 might hit, maybe 1 in 50. But when it does, dude, you're instantly from here to here. Like, if you farmed fucking Jito, right? Or Jupe, like boom, you're already at like 50K, dude. Some people literally went like over here. Follow the correct accounts and you'll know, because if you search Sol or you search whatever ecosystem is popping up, they're almost always at the top. And I know you think that, oh dude, Jito's a 1 in a million thing, like it's not gonna happen again, and you're gonna talk yourself out of it, because I get that in my DMs all the fucking time, because people ask me this question all the time, like, oh, I only have a couple $1,000, how the fuck am I gonna make it? Like, you're lucky because you start off with a lot of money. Dude, I started off with $2,000. I didn't even get an opportunity for an airdrop because these things weren't available back then, bro. Like, I actually had to trade, but you don't have to. Just go farm, and then most importantly, get a side job, dude. Get a side job. Get a work from home job. There's a fuck ton of them. If you're in a third world country, dude, you can do data entry for a company in a first world country, right? Where you're basically just entering files and pages of information for them, and it's brain dead, but guess what? You can have a chart pulled up, right? And guess what? When you make money, a couple bucks an hour even makes a large percentage change to this value amount. Like, you wouldn't do this if you were worth 100K, right? Like, it just might not make as much sense. If you're on this bottom branch of size, that's what you do, okay? Over here, first thing that you do, because you have some income to play with. If you're at 1 to 10K, you're fucking struggling, bro. Like, you know, like you're in the trenches, and you're not just like in the trenches, bro. You're like the bottom rung of the trenches. Now, once you move up a little bit, you're on the second rung of it. Should still be farming airdrops. Second, you should be buying shitcoins. Notice that I'm not telling you to buy shitcoins here. This is a big fallacy that people think, oh, I have 10K, I'm gonna buy some shitcoins and then it's gonna 100x and I'm gonna make a lot of money. Yes, that could work, but you're throwing away like 10% of your portfolio every single time. And at the rate at which shitcoins fail, that means you have maybe 10 to 20 attempts before you're dry. Those are just not good odds that you want to take, right? Like, you have 10 to 20 attempts at buying shitcoins before you're broke. Those are terrible odds. Don't do it. So once you have that, kind of 30, 40K, start buying some shitcoins, right? By then, you should have access to certain telegrams / Discord / groups. There's a couple good telegrams from people, right? I'm not gonna show them on here, but people have great telegrams where they show shitcoins and all of that. And then the last thing that you want to do is start taking obvious free give me trades. So ETF is one of them, right? Things pulling back into H4 support in an uptrend, buying flavor of the month coins. So these are the 3 things that you should start doing right here. And this one is actually in order, unironically, of importance, right? So you should still be farming airdrops, because you can double your portfolio in like a day or triple it if you're really good at farming. Like, dude, the people who farmed Jito, they didn't even lose money. It didn't cost them anything. Solana's so fucking cheap, dude. You lost like a quarter of a cent. That's basically nothing. And then you start taking the obvious trades, when prices pull back or a weekly breakout or some shit like that. You start taking those higher quality setups. You start taking things that are very high percentage. And I know people feel a certain way about this because like, oh dude, farming airdrops is scary because people get scammed and blah blah blah. But listen, man, you are playing in an industry that is grown out of the fucking mud. So it's very difficult to complain about, oh, the industry is dirty dirty or it's a scammy thing. Like it kind of is, but that's the game that you play. There's nothing I hate more than someone who plays the game but complains about the rules. Like, what are you doing? Like, you either play the game or you don't. But if you play the game, accept the fact that, you know, there are certain status quos, and that's just how it is. Now, this is where you have a portfolio. This is when you can start to be a little bit more sophisticated. This is what I would do. So if I had 50 to 100K, I start trading now, because now I'm able to get enough size and things that, you know, like the smaller percentage moves will matter a little bit more, right? Like when you have a couple $1,000s, you can still trade. Don't get me wrong. I did that, but that's because I had no choice. I didn't have airdrops, bro. Like, I had ICOs, but you had to literally be an insider, and you had to KYC, and you had to whitelist, and then it was a long process, and it just wasn't available at the time. Whereas right now, dude, you can do anything. Like, you can sneak into early pre-sales, you can buy things before anyone even knows they exist, you can buy it on the DEX, swap it over, whatever. But this is when you should get a Bybit account, you should get a Binance account, you should get anything but a fucking KuCoin or Mexi account, right? But this is when you want to start trading. This is ideally when you start prioritizing trading. You can always trade through here, but this is where I believe trading will give you the most return on investment. Because even if you got a banger of an airdrop, that's a 30% gain, or like maybe 50%, and that's a banger airdrop. Like if you got 20K airdrop, that's 20%. You could do 20% in a week trading crypto for sure. With 100K, you can do 20K or 20% in a week almost consistently. As long as markets move, you can print 20K a week. And then you'll occasionally dabble in some meme coins, right? You hear something, oh dude, you guys hear about Shadow? You guys hear about Gek? Oh, you guys hear about Bonk? Cool, okay, yeah, I'll throw in, you know, $5,000, $10,000, whatever, right? Because it's only 5-10% of your portfolio. And then maybe it does like a 300%, 500% move, whatever. Because you're not buying absolute shitters, right? You're not buying like Smurf asshole coin or fucking, I don't know what people buy these days, man. Like, there's some very weird shit that's going on. You don't have to buy those things anymore. You don't have to buy the sus things. You can buy the more sophisticated shitcoins. But that's how I would approach this matrix. So yeah, I wouldn't prioritize trading unless you're getting up to like close to 50K. If you are above $1 million, you need to just be trading. And you need to just go in whatever the most hype protocols are, because you are technically adding fuel to the fire. That's how you would want to approach it. That's where all the liquidity is, bro. Oh dude, Injective is going off, we're gonna do Injective. Oh man, Solana ecosystem's popping off, all right, we're gonna long Solana coins. Oh, Bitcoin and ETH are running the show, okay, we're gonna be massively long Bitcoin and ETH. And that's just how you play. Because if not, you have to understand that people have this mental cap where they cap themselves off. Like, you will almost always operate from a fixed level of portfolio balance. And what I mean by that is, you'll see people where they're like, dude, I've been stuck at 200K, I've been stuck at $100,000, I can't break it. And it's all mental, bro, because the market doesn't give a fuck if you have 100,000 or 100 million. The market doesn't know that. The market doesn't care. But people have these mental triggers that happen, and they can't stop themselves from getting out of their own way. Because if you have 100K and you're doing this approach, yeah, bro, you're never breaking 100K. But if you're at 100K and you start actively trading and you start progressing, certain strategies will scale better. Certain things scale better, but people don't care about that. People think it should be a one size fits all. It's not. There are certain triggers in your head that you need to just fucking unhinged, right? Like, you need to loosen a couple screws. Stop viewing it as money, maybe, right? Like, stop being scared. Everyone has a different obstacle that I think they face. And I'm not saying that you should just risk more or bet more or whatever, because that's not the one size fits all solution for people. Sometimes it's as little as change your fucking balance from USD over to Bitcoin. Change it from USD to the Venezuelan fucking currency. Turn it to that. And then suddenly the number changes, and that sometimes helps people. It's weird, I know. What about prop firms? So this is a big question that I've been getting, especially because fucking Main, Cred, and Abe launched their own prop firm. That so many people are fucking asking me like, yo, is it a good idea if I borrow money from a firm, I pay them whatever the initial cost is, I do the evaluation, and then I trade with them? Yes, it's a good idea, but I will tell you this, it is very, very difficult to pass the evaluation with the requirements that are in place, right? Because it's not just, hey, make 10% in a month. It's, hey, make 10% in a month, but you're only allowed ABC sizing and you're only allowed to lose at most 10%. So you can't lose any more than 10%. If you do, the challenge is over. You got to pay again to start over. And you only have a certain select amount of assets, right? Like you're not trading every single asset available, right? So you can't buy shadow. You might only be able to buy the top 50 in market cap. So there are certain things that make it a little bit more difficult. And most people, truthfully, will not pass. And that's just the nature of the game. That's just how it is. Trading as a whole has a very low success rate. And it's not because it's difficult to make money. It's because it's difficult to keep it.